Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle. Lord Tremendous at Warriors of Chaos, that's me, versus Rotten Soul of the Demons of Chaos. And this is a new up-and-coming player at our local store. He's just kind of getting into it and stuff like that. But he tells me that when we play, he wants me to come at him. So, you know, trial by fire, baptism by blood, however you want to see it. But got to respect the guy for going for it, right? But yeah, this is the battle, and sit back, relax, and get ready to see how it goes, because it's fun. Here's my list, and I have changed it slightly from the last time I played 2,500 points, just because something caught my attention and I wanted to try it. I still have my Demon Prince, Lord Tremendous, because honestly, I know a Sorcerer Lord on a disc or a Chaos Lord on a disc would be much more effective and possibly more efficient, but to be honest with you, I just really like playing with the Demon Prince. I just like the model. I like having a monster on the table. So he's going to stay, and if that makes him inefficient or foolish, then so be it. However, I did change out his kit slightly. He's no longer a wizard at all. He has 0 wizard levels. He's still Mark Zinch. He's still got Chaos Armor. I gave him wings. He's always had it on the model, and I got away from it about I don't know, half a year ago or so, but I'm bringing him back as pretty much as a pure unbreakable fighter. And so I gave him wings, so that he can get in the combat quicker. He still has a Charm Shield, Dragonbane Gem, other Trickster Shard, Soul Feeder, Filling Breath, and Scaled Skin. Other than that, he's 100 points cheaper than before. My hero choices have changed slightly as well. Well, Lady Elizabeth's kit out has changed slightly. Other than that, everything else pretty much the same. Lady Elizabeth is still Mark Zinch. She's still got a Halberd, Chaos Steed, BSB, Helm of Many Eyes, and a Dawnstone. She has lost Poisonous Slime because I needed the points to put 2 casters on the field. My first Chaos Sorcerer, Catastrophe. Yes, he will bounce around with names because I like the name. He's a level 2 wizard with the Mark of Zinch. He's on a demonic mount, Enchanted Shield, Dispel Scroll, and the Lore of Zinch. Try not the Lore of Zinch instead of Lore of Metal, just because this guy is going to be firing. He's a mobile bolt thrower, and potentially, Infernal Gateway's tough. Even Blue Flame, though, is great for taking care of chaff and, smaller units, and even sometimes, like, cannons and stuff, because Strength 6 is a 1 in 6 chance. So I like it, and what I really like about the Lore of Zinch is the Warp Flame special rule, where you can do D3 more wounds with no armor save if things fail a toughness check, which anything can fail a toughness check on a 6. Yeah, everything has a chance on 1 on 6, and so against monsters, or demon princes, or, cannons, anything. If you roll a 6, you fail your toughness check, and you could die, so that's huge. So I really do like the lore, and lore Zinch, man. You gotta stay, that brand loyalty. I love Zinch. And then, now that I've said all that, I have another Chaos Sorcerer on the field. He Who Drools. He's a level 1 wizard with the Mark of Nurgle, and the reason he's Nurgle is because I wanted to try out the lore of Nurgle, because I like the idea of getting Fleshy Abundance and Curse of the Leper off on my units to make them a little bit tougher. It's buffs that I usually don't have. I put him on a Chaos Steed, mostly for mobility, a little bit for armor. He's got a Dragon Helm, Chaos Familiar, so he's got 2 spells and he channels on a 5-up, and then he's the Lore Nurgle, like I already said. My core choices are pretty much the same. I have 5 Chaos Warhounds, the Corn Dogs, they're butt naked. I have 18 Chaos Warriors, Reavers of Ulthuan, Mark Korn, Halberds, Banner Musician, and the Banner Rage. And then Korn's Forgotten, 15 Forsaken with the Mark of Korn. Usually at 2,500 points, they were 17 strong, but I got rid of 2 of them because I needed points for something else, which you will see in a minute. My special choices are still 5 Chaos Knights, Elizabeth's Honor Guard with Mark Zinch and Sorcered Weapons, Banner Musician, and Standard of Discipline. And guess who's back? My Chimera.
Trifection!
That's right, boys and girls. I have gone back to my roots. I have brought the Chimera back. I got rid of the Skull Crushers from the old 2,500 point list because like Sustainable Center said, I cannot find first gear with those guys. Every time they get into combat, they just disappoint me and embarrass me, and I'm sure it's my fault, but I'm going to blame them because they're inanimate objects and there's nothing they can do to defend themselves. So, yeah, take that. And then, of course, I wouldn't make a list without him. My rare choice, Snuffleupagus. My Mutalith, Vortex. How can you not love the beast? How can you not? Well, I guess if he was turning half your unit into slag and then using the bits to make spawn for me to kick your butt with, I guess you could not love him then. But he's just so pretty, so pretty. Here's my opponent's list. His general is a Demon Prince, level 4 wizard with the Mark of Nurgle, or a Demon of Nurgle, however you want to see it. He had a greater gift, which I believe he defaulted to a weapon, a magic weapon of some sort, and, well, you'll see why we never figured that out. And then he has a lesser gift. He got Noxious Breath, and yeah, that's that Strength 2, no armor save breath weapon. And then, of course, he uses the Lore of Nurgle because he's a level 4 wizard. His hero choices are Skull Taker, because Skull Taker's actually pretty cool. Heroic killing blow with hatred is devastating. He has a Herald of Nurgle as his BSB, which is who is a level 1 wizard with a war banner and uses the lore of Nurgle. And then he has a Herald of Tzeentch, who's a level 2 wizard on a Disc of Tzeentch. The lesser gift was a magic weapon. I think it was a Sword of Might, and he uses the Lore of Metal because the Lore of Metal is actually really powerful against all armies, whether you believe it or not. Effective more against others, I'll give you that, but, you know, nobody really cares what your armor save is with Final Transmutation. His core choices were a unit of 31 Bloodletters with full command and Banner of Eternal Flame, and I didn't get a chance to talk to him before he made this list from my last game that I played against him, and we treated the banner, once I realized what he had, because we play closed lists. You don't show your opponent your list during the game because you're not supposed to, honestly. The magic items and stuff are supposed to be a surprise. So yeah, he does have the Banner of Eternal Flame. You guys are right. The Bloodletters can't use it, or won't. They can use it, but they won't get any effect for it because the Hellblades or whatever are actually magical weapons. And as we all know, flaming attacks and poison attacks, unless the weapon grants it to them, cannot be affected or cannot get those traits. So during this game, when I am, because a spoiler alert, I do end up in combat with the Bloodletters once he announces that they have the Banner of Eternal Flame. For this game, we go ahead and allow it, but then we corrected him and just say, hey, listen, should have said this last time, kind of got slipped past me. The Banner of Eternal Flame doesn't work with the Bloodletters because of magic weapons. Here's the reference in the book, blah, blah, blah. He understands now, so, you know, that's all good. But we did, for this game, let the Bloodletters get the effect from the Banner of Eternal Flame. I know, sacrilege, call him down, but yeah, we're jerks like that. His other core choice was a unit of 20 Plague Bearers with full command and a Banner of Swiftness, which they can totally use. They're very quick Plague Bearers. His special choice consists of 5 Flesh Hounds because they're actually pretty tough. And then he had 2 rare choices, a Skull Cannon and a Soul Reaper. That was Mark Corn with Warp Gaze and the Harvester Cannon and the Doom Claw. I didn't put the Doom Claw because I'm pretty sure that's default, but the Warp Gaze and the Harvester Cannon it wasn't 100% on. So I put it, so you're welcome. Here are my spells, which are, I believe, 2 from Tzeentch and 2 from Nurgle, and of course the Beast spell. I've still got 5 spells. It's just I get a broader spectrum of spells with this. Although I gotta be honest with you, I don't know how I feel about the lore of Nurgle, as well as having a Nurgle model in my army. It kind of frustrates me. I'm thinking more along the lines of Lore of Fire or Lore of Death or even Lore of Metal on just a no-marked guy on a steed just running around doing his thing. Probably Lore of Fire. But, you know, we'll get to that later, because let's get into the battle report. I'm getting distracted. And here are my opponent's spells. A whole bunch from Nurgle and a couple from Tzeentch. Here's deployment, and for the most part, I don't know what the hell I was doing. Okay. There was I'm not used to playing at 2,500 points as regular, so I was a little confused about having so many on the table. I know it's only one more unit, shut up. My knights on the left flank there, the plan was to get a hold of his Soul Grinder, and if possible, if he made a mistake, get a hold of his Tzeentch guy on a disc. I didn't think he was going to make that mistake, but if he did, I was going to capitalize on it 100%. If not, the Knights were going to try to get a hold of that Soul Grinder and beat it into oblivion. Trifection was behind the impassable terrain there, that mountain in the little rock or whatever in the middle of the board, because that Skull Cannon fires flaming attacks, and I can't have that, so I set my Demon Prince up right across from the Skull Cannon in order to try to absorb those attacks, because he's got a 2-up ward save against flaming attacks, so I didn't care. Meanwhile, my Nurgle guy on a steed, he's next to the Chimera. With the spells that he got, I didn't need line of sight or anything, so I was just going to put him up behind the impassable terrain and have him dance around that all game. As long as his forward arc was, within something that could be targeted by it, I figured he was fine there. The Corn Warriors, the Dogs, the Beast, they were going to go and just try to redirect the Bloodletters. The Beast was going to try to get his spell off on the Bloodletters to mess with their stats, or, Tzeentch willing, get a hold of the number 6, or roll a 6 on the random chart there and make all the Bloodletters take a toughness check and get a spawn or two. That'd be great. The Forsaken were going to try to deal with the Plague Bears because I felt reasonably confident they could. And Catastrophe all the way over the right flank there was going to just pelt his Demon Prince with spells until either he had a 3-up regen and there was nothing I could do about it, or he was dead. That was the plan. That's why I deployed like that. And now you're in the know. Here's my opponent's right flank, which consists of his Soul Grinder and his level 2 Tzeentch guy on a disc. Here's his center, which consists of his, the cannon, the Skull Cannon, his Flesh Hounds, and his huge unit of Bloodletters with his Skull Taker installed. And his left flank, which consists of his Plague Bears with his Nurgle Herald installed, and his level 4 Demon Prince of Nurgle. Here's my right flank, which consists of Catastrophe and my Forsaken, Khorne's Forgotten. God, I love that name. And my center, from right to left, there's Snuffleupagus, my beast, my Khorne dogs, my Khorne warriors, the Reavers of Ulthuan, my Demon Prince, Lord Tremendous, and He Who Drools, my level 1 Nurgle guy. Yeah. And then, of course, here's my left flank. There's Trifection and Lady Elizabeth with her knights. Here's top of 1 after movement, and I win. I get to go first. Yay! As you can see, I'm going according to plan. The Tzeentch Knights run up the left flank, daring his Soul Grinder to charge me. Trifection moves up because I was curious to see how he would do against Soul Grinder. If he charged me, then so be it. My Demon Prince was within 12, so the Chimera was leadership 9 instead of 5, so he had a chance of staying. Meanwhile, with Lady Elizabeth right there too with the reroll, I felt confident that the Soul Grinder would not go anywhere, and Lady Elizabeth could countercharge. Meanwhile, I put my Demon Prince all the way up there on the other side of that because, number 1, I wanted to soak up the flaming cannonball shot from his Skull Cannon. Number 2, if his Soul Grinder was foolish enough to charge my Demon Prince, since it was Khorne and not Nurgle, I was relatively confident that my Demon Prince could kill it, and if not, he could, pass the initiative check because he's initiative 8. I need a 6 to fail, and I was reasonably confident that I could either kill it or hold it in place long enough for Lady Elizabeth to charge into the flank and combat res it to death. The dogs ran up to try to bait either the Flesh Hounds or the Bloodletters. And the Warriors just kind of moved up so that they could countercharge. If the dogs did get charged, the Beast moved up in range to a spell. The Forsaken moved as close as they could to the Plague Bears, hoping that he would move up. And what's-his-face, Catastrophe moved up just close enough to be in range of his spells on the Demon Prince, because I wanted to kill him. During the magic phase, I set off to get the Demon Prince to die, and I roll, I think, 4 dice at Bolt of Change, and I got it off by 1. He missed stopping it by 1. His dice rolled poorly. I was able to do, not only was I able to wound, because I think it was a strength 10 hit, but I was able to do 3 wounds to his Demon Prince. So right off the bat, a Demon Prince without Soul Feeder takes 3 wounds from Bolt of Change. I was absolutely thrilled. And then he rolls a 6 for for Warp Flame. Can you effing believe it? And I do 3 more no armor save wounds to him. He actually passes 2 out of the 3 ward saves, but he dies. And oh my God, Tzeentch bless you, Catastrophe. Tzeentch bless you. And then, just to add a little insult to injury, because that's kind of what I do, I roll on the Eye of Gods because he killed a monster, and he gets +1 attack for his trouble, which was kind of cool. So, with his level 4 Demon Prince dead, top of round 1, we go into bottom of 1, and you know what? I know a lot of guys, veterans, that would have just been like, God bless America, I'm not playing. You win, good game, let's re-rack. I know a lot of people, a lot of veteran guys that would have done that, especially a demon prince and a demon army, you know what I mean? But he didn't. He was disappointed. Don't get me wrong, he was disappointed, but he was a man about it, and that's not to say anything against women, but he was an adult about it, and he was just like, let's keep going. I'm still pretty sure I got you. And it was awesome. He was like, yeah, let's do this. So he came at me full throttle. The Plague Bearers moved up, Bloodletters moved up, Flesh Hounds moved up, Skull Cannon stayed still, and the Soul Grinder slammed into the flank of my Demon Prince because if that claw got a hold of me, it does some serious wounds, and I believe it's no armor save. So it wasn't a terrible choice. I kind of didn't realize it was no armor save, but that's my fault for not knowing that. I should have. Here's a better picture of his Soul Grinder slamming into the flank of my Demon Prince, and here's where I start to get a little nervous. During his magic phase, he gets Transmutation let off on my Corn Warriors, because honestly, I didn't see how it was going to affect them during this combat, or during this round anyway, because they weren't in any combat. He rolls an insane, irresistible force on that one, though, and ends up misfiring 6. Which, given the string of bad luck this poor guy's having, that really didn't need to happen. But it's the small template over his head. It only hits him, and he's able to ward save the wound, so it's not a big deal. It does end his magic phase, though, so that's kind of cool. Then during the shooting phase, that Skull Cannon targets the beast, and with the flaming attacks, I was like, oh no, I forgot! I was so eager to get the beast spell off on the Bloodletters, I didn't even think about the cannon shooting him. Oh well, so he takes careful aim, fires, and misfires. Can you effing believe this poor bastard's luck? It does improve slightly, though, because as you can see, he ends up rolling a misfire 6, so he just couldn't shoot this round. But man, this guy's luck can only go one direction, and that's up, because, oh man, it's just not right. I feel sorry for him. Not because he's playing poorly, because his dice just aren't rolling average. I mean, that's all you can ask from your dice, right? Just give me average, not this ones and zeros crap. So with all that said and done, we go over to topic 2 after movement, and he told me to come at him, so I did. Lady Elizabeth and her knights slam into the flank of the Soul Grinder, and my Forsaken slam into the Plague Bearers, confident they can take care of them. Meanwhile, the Beast moves up to get a hold of the Bloodletters and make it so that they, I'm sorry, not to get a hold of them, but to cast a spell on them, desperately hope to get a 5 or a 6. I'd take a 4, hell, I'll take a 1, I don't care, as long as they're taking wounds. My Corn Warriors stay right where they're at because the dogs move up so that the Bloodletters can't countercharge a Forsaken, and if they do charge the dogs, the Corn Warriors should be able to get the charge off on them, possibly with the Demon Prince and Lady Elizabeth in tow. Other than that, Trifection kind of hangs out right behind the rock there because that cannon is still alive, and I'm hoping that if the Bloodletters do hit the dogs and overrun, or just hit the dogs, that Trifection can get in there. Maybe a flank, maybe a front, it doesn't really matter, it's Trifection. So yeah, and then of course Cassassery moves up to the right flank to get a cheap shot off at the Bloodletters. Right here is a better picture of Lady Elizabeth slamming into the Soul Grinder, trying to finish this combat quick. And last round, I forgot to take a picture of it, but my Demon Prince was able to put 2 wounds on the Soul Grinder. I won the combat, but he was able to make his leadership check. And here's a better picture of the Forsaken slamming into the Plague Bearers. And their number 1 goal was to kill the Herald. After the Herald was dead, anything I did to the Plague Bearers was just bonus. During the magic phase, the Beast is able to get his spell off on the Bloodletters. I believe it was the number 1 spell that makes them cause fear, which is useless because demons already are scary. But 3 of them die, so that was pretty cool. And like I said, the whole hope here was just to take out as many as I could because there's 31 of those guys, or there's 30 of those guys plus Skull Taker. No, 31 of those guys plus Skull Taker. I had a lot of work to do here. With magic pretty much being a wash after that, we go into combat, and I'm able to kill the Soul Grinder. Honestly, I can't remember if it was wounds or if it was combat resolution. It was probably a combination of both. But the Soul Grinder explodes and dies, and that's awesome. Lady Elizabeth would have tried to overrun into the Skull Cannon, but she actually does clip the demon's base and stops. So, unfortunately, I couldn't get a hold of him, but you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. Then over here in combat, the Forsaken get regen 5 up on the chart there. I'm able to take out Mr. Nurgle Herald, which is awesome. But I'm only able to slip 2 more wounds past the Nurgle's, what's it called? Ward save. He actually makes a ton of ward saves. Actually, I don't do a ton of wounds, but I did a lot more than 2. But his 5 up, what's it called? Ward save was able to save them, and that was a little poopy. I won't lie to you. But can't fault the guy for rolling well finally, and I think I end up winning this combat. Charge, 2 wounds, 4 wounds, charge and 4 wounds plus a rank to 3 wounds, 2 ranks, and a banner. I might have actually lost this one. I don't fully remember, but we don't go anywhere. Either he doesn't crumble anymore, or I don't break. Either way, the combat's right there. So, with all the fun over, we go to bottom of 2 after movement, and not only do the Flesh Hounds go after the dogs, but the Bloodletters go after the dogs. I guess he just saw the bait and decided, what the hell, let's see what happens. Other than that, the Skull Cannon stays where it's at, the Plague Bearers are in combat, and everything else is dead. Oh, well, and the, what's it called? The level 2 Zinj Priest or Herald on a disc moves over to try to harass Lady Elizabeth. He moves behind him so she can't charge him, and so that he can try to get his spells off on her. There's a better picture of the Bloodletters and the Flesh Hounds slamming into my dogs. Nobody likes the dogs. You know, every time I play, it doesn't matter what race, doesn't matter what experience they are, nobody likes my dogs at all. They murder them. And that just hurts. During the magic phase, he gets Transmutation let off on the Forsaken, which I let go because I was saving my dice to stop Searing Doom. Remember, he's got a Lore of Metal caster on that damn disc, and I was worried about losing all my knights. During his shooting phase, the Skull Cannon fires at the, what's it called? At my, beast again, and misfires again. I mean, I don't know what this guy did before coming to the shop, but his dice were seriously karma'd out and angry at him about it. Luckily, it's only a miscast of 4, or no, actually, it's a 3 or 4 where he can't shoot this turn or next, so that just sucks. I mean, the Skull Cannon is devastating, and unfortunately, it's just not performing to this game, and that's really not fair for him, but what can you do? I mean, the dice just aren't playing the game at all. After that's all said and done, though, we go into combat, and here his dice could have rolled as crap as they wanted, and these dogs were still dead. Needless to say, the Flesh Hounds and the Bloodletters are easily able to kill all 5 dogs before I can get even 1 attack back. They do not overrun, they end up just turning around to face what's coming in, and that is that. Over here, we trade 5 souls for 5 souls. I kill 5 of his Plague Bearers. He kills 5 of my Forsaken. I believe he wins this combat with rank and banner, but I end up sticking it out. I'm able to make my break check, and we stick it out for another round. So yeah, my idea that the Forsaken were going to be able to take the Plague Bearers was a terrible, terrible idea. So, with all the fun done, we go over to top of 3 after movement, and I move. Everything charges. That's what the dogs were there for. They were there to bait. So, the Beast, Chimera, my Corn Warriors, even Catastrophe, everybody tried to charge the Bloodletters. Only the Beasts make it. The Beast and my Chimera make it. Snuffleupagorer and Trifection slam into the Bloodletters, which is honestly more than enough. Catastrophe fails his charge, which wasn't a surprise. The Corn Warriors fail their charge, which wasn't a surprise. My Demon Prince charges the Flesh Hounds, and the idea is he kills them first and then overruns into the Bloodletters, so I'll have 3 monsters in combat with the Bloodletters, and if I fail to overrun into the Bloodletters, well, oops, that sucks. Meanwhile, Lady Elizabeth tries to charge the Skull Cannon because I figure, hey, that's like a 10 to hit. I just need to not roll Snake Eyes. I think I rolled 3 once. So yeah, Lady Elizabeth actually failed a charge, which, hey, it wouldn't be a game if she didn't fail a charge. Other than that, everything I have is dead or in combat. Oh, well, no, that's not true. The little level 1 Nurgle guy on a horse stays behind the impassable terrain because he's useless. Here's a better picture of, what's it called, my Chimera and Beast slamming into the Bloodletters because they're the only 2 that make their charge. And here's a better picture of my Demon Prince making his charge into the Flesh Hounds. And like I said, as you can see from the angle, it shouldn't be hard for me to overrun into the Bloodletters. There's a better picture of Lady Elizabeth and her knights failing a charge into the Skull Cannon, which sucks. And here's a better picture of the Corn Warriors failing a charge into the Bloodletters, which also sucks, but it wasn't unexpected. And of course, Cast actually failed his charge as well. That doesn't really suck as much. I was actually planning on sacrificing him to Skull Taker, and that way the monsters could just beat down the Bloodletters and win through combat res. Magic is a wash, so we go straight into combat, and my Demon Prince is able to just raffle stomp the Flesh Hounds. Hey, he did it to my dogs. It was the least I could do to do it to his. Really, the deciding factor on this one was the other Trickster Shard. That thing was better than a Banner of the World Dragon against demons, let me tell you, because he made a ton of his ward saves, and then he had to re-roll them all because of the other Trickster Shard, and then he failed them all. So yeah, with combat res and everything like that, the Flesh Hounds all to get killed, and I overrun into the Bloodletters without any trouble whatsoever. So that being the next combat, we go into it, and I kill Skull Taker. My Demon Prince accepts the challenge from Skull Taker because he's the only one that can. Skull Taker runs over. He actually does hit, but he fails to heroically killing blow my Demon Prince. He just doesn't roll any sixes. My Demon Prince is able to fight back, and I think between combat and thunder stomps, he was able to kill Skull Taker no problem. Meanwhile, the Chimera and the Beast only take one wound. The Beast takes a wound for his trouble. Other than that, nothing else happens. And that's with the Flaming Banner being in effect, so they didn't get their regens. He was just rolling terribly, which sucks. Really, really sucks. That unit is a lot more devastating than he got to see. Honestly, either the Chimera or the Beast should have been dead. Probably the Beast. The Beast definitely should have been dead, especially with flaming attacks being in effect. But only one wound ended up going through, which was a damn shame. Meanwhile, in return, the Beast and Trifection, combined with Thunderstomps, was able to put a real whooping on these guys. And then, of course, all those wounds, the ones in the combat, the ones in the challenge, charge and flank, to like one wound and a banner and a rank. I won by a lot. Needless to say, that demonic instability rule really hurts. I think all but 5 guys crumble and die, and that sucks. That really, really sucks for him. But yeah, they fall apart pretty good, and there's like 5 left. So we go into combat over here, and Nurgle gets the upper hand. He saves every wound that I'm able to do to him, which isn't much because, Hatred only works in that very first round of combat. And I'm pretty sure I don't have Frenzy anymore, so I'm not getting nearly as many attacks. I don't kill even 1 Plague Bearer. I lose 3 of my Forsaken, but I roll like a 3 and make my leadership check and stand. So, oof, I got lucky, I guess, but the Forsaken are probably going to get killed here. So we go to bottom 3 after movement, and there's really none. The only thing that moves is his Skull Cannon charges into the rear of my Demon Prince. I think it was more of a Hail Mary shot than anything else, because what else was he going to do? Other than that, his discs pretty much stays perfectly still, because it's got a beautiful shot at Lady Tremendous's butt. And yeah, well, no, Lady Elizabeth. I guess I shouldn't say Lady Tremendous. But yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a better picture of the Skull Cannon slamming into the rear of the Demon Prince, which is rude. During the magic phase, he irresistibly forces through Searing Doom, and it's the big one. And he is able to he's able to kill all my knights. Lady Elizabeth is the only one standing, and that hurts. However, he rolls a miscast 7. Which, is probably the absolute best miscast he could have rolled. Obviously, there's nothing in base-to-base contact with him. He does end his magic phase due to all of his dice going away, but bottom line is it doesn't really matter because he did his damage. He killed every single knight before I could do anything about it because Searing Doom hurts 1-up armor save guys. Yeah, what can you do? Over here in combat, the Plague Bears, I'm able to kill 1 more Plague Bearer before they finish off the last 4 Forsaken. Wow. Well, let's hear for some Plague Bears, huh? They were definitely MVPs on his side this game. They were able to finish off my Forsaken, but my Forsaken were able to hold him there for a while and cut their numbers in half. So and get the Holden Nurgle Herald. So that's something. You know, it got. I believe that was his BSB as well. So that was pretty cool. It wasn't a total, not worth it type of thing, but I always hate it when I lose any unit because I'm a spoiled brat. So, with that being said, I throw a little Hefty Fit temper tantrum, and we go to top of 4 after movement. I don't really throw a temper tantrum. We were having a good time. Needless to say, last combat as well. I'm sorry, I forgot to take a picture of it. With the blood letters, I'm able to finish off the blood letters, and I'm able to save every single impact hit wound that is done by the Skull Cannon through armor saves and ward saves. It was a little ridiculous, but hey, my dice are rolling hot lately, and I'm just going to enjoy the ride because we all know what's going to end up happening. Probably at the Rock War GT. But we'll see. We'll see. Needless to say, the Skull Cannon has a few wounds on it. It was able to roll low enough on its leadership check that it didn't just completely die. So that's a good thing. But I was able to get the Chimera out of combat because all the bloodletters were dead and he wasn't in combat with the Skull Cannon. So the Chimera turned to face the Plague Bearers and then charged. The beast runs over towards the disc because I wanted to try to get its spell off on the disc rider and maybe make it fail a couple of toughness checks and die. The Corn Warriors finally make it into combat. They charge into the Skull Cannon and make it, so that was awesome. And Lady Elizabeth runs over just in case to offer the rerolls to anybody who may need it. Here's a better picture of the Corn Warriors finally making it into the Skull Cannon, which is awesome. And here's a better picture of Trifection slamming into the flank of the Plague Bears because, hey, I haven't used a Chimera in a while and I'm enjoying it. And Trifection seems to be enjoying the workout because he is definitely putting in some time. During the magic phase, the Beast. Oh, the Beast. He's able to get his spell off on none other than the Tzeentch Disc Rider, and it's the number 6 spell. And per the rules of the spell, you just have to suffer an unsaved wound to get a spawn. It does not have to be a casualty. And boom, there it is. The disc guy actually fails his toughness check, and a spawn arrives on the table. I was so happy. I love it when I get a free spawn because is back, and I love that. Free 50-point rare choices are awesome. Over here in combat, obviously the Skull Cannon gets obliterated, and I don't take any damage to anything because I struck pretty much at the same time as his riders, but it didn't matter. I killed it. Life is good. Yay me. The Corn Warriors do overrun, but as you can see, they stop an inch away from the Demon Prince, so yay. And then over here, Trifection is able to kill 3 of the Plague Bears, which is really good, but they don't really care. They're able to roll low enough that it doesn't matter, and they don't lose any more from demonic instability. So after all said, real quick, he does try to roll his leadership check to reform and rolls like an 11. So no, not a chance. So they don't end up going anywhere. So after that is all said and done, we go to bottom of 4 after movement, and you're looking at it. His Plague Bears are in combat, and his disc fails its leadership check to march, can only move 10 inches, and moves around to try to slag Lady Elizabeth. His magic phase is easily stopped, and his shooting phase doesn't exist anymore, so we go into combat, and Trifection gets all 9 of his attacks, plus Thunderstomps. He doesn't take any wounds. He's able to crush every single Plague Bearer pretty much without having to worry about demonic instability. So they're dead, and that's one less thing to worry about. And the Forsaken are avenged, so that's good. With all that said and done, we go over to top of 5, and as you can see, everything just kind of swoos over to where the little Tzeentch Herald on a disc is. And believe it or not, the only thing that makes it into combat with him is the spawn. I rolled random movement right at him, and I made it. It was about an inch over what I needed, and boom, slams into him. So yeah, that's it for movement. There's a better picture of slamming into the Tzeentch Herald on a disc. During the magic phase, I get Miasma Pestilence off on him just because the spawn isn't the greatest fighter in the world, but anything I can do to tilt the scales in my favor is great. I do the big one, but I'm only able to roll a 1, so it's kind of a waste, but I'll take what I can get. And I got what I needed because is able to kill the Zinch guy on a disc. I'm able to slip that last wound through, and he dies. And that's the game. There it is, everybody. All the demons have been vanquished, with the exception of my demon prince, and that's because he's supposed to be there. Again, this guy really was a trooper, though. I mean, top of one, lost his demon prince to a lucky shot from a spell, and soldiered on. Like, okay, you know, it happens. Let's keep playing. And you know what? He told me to come at him. I didn't do it because I need to win or anything like that. He told me to come at him. I know he's new. I offered to make it a training game. I offered to take it easy on him, and he was almost offended. He was like, no, 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 come at me, bro. And I was like, dude, do you even lift? And no, that's not what I said, but but you know what? We'll get to the recap in a minute, because right now it's time for a quick timeout. Hey guys, I know I've already talked to you about this before, but you should really check these pictures out because they were all painted, including my model, by Unleashed Wargaming. And they have their email right up there at the top of the page, and they've also got it down there. They got a YouTube channel. He's working on a website. It's not quite ready yet, but yeah, really, if you get a chance, check these guys out. If you're looking for someone to paint your stuff real good, seriously, check these guys out. Go to his, send him an email, check out his YouTube page. It's really worth your time. It's a phenomenal job. It's quick, it's painless. You don't have to worry about painting your stuff. And soon I'll be running a model that these guys painted for me, and I'm very excited about that. But check out these pictures. Give this guy an email. Check him out on YouTube. Get your models painted by him if you can. It's totally worth it. And tell him Tremendous sent you. So yeah, ladies and germs, it was a victory for Lord Tremendous. I was able to table him by the top of 5. In the end, I ended up losing my Warhounds, my Forsaken, and my Knights. Demons of Chaos lost everything. But, you know what, I gotta really attribute a lot of this to my opponents. His dice rolling was atrocious. 2 misfires by the skull cannon, failing the toughness check on his demon prince that ended up losing him, failing the toughness check on the Zinch disc that ended up giving me the spawn that ended up taking out his last unit. I mean, come on, Nurgle, come on. You can't help out your guy? I'm not going to ask Corn to do it because, well, Corn and me get along, and so does Zinch, but come on, Nurgle. Help your guy out. You know, work on his dice a little bit. What's wrong with you, you fat, lazy slob? But, yeah, it was just really unfortunate. He wasn't making average rolls, which is really all he needed in a lot of places, and that's a damn shame. At one point, with the Demon Prince against the Soul Grinder, I failed my initial initiative test, and so his what's it called, his little Doomclaw hit automatically, and he rolls a 1 to wound. I mean, a 1 to wound, the one thing that would have pretty much just smushed my Demon Prince, and he rolls a 1 to wound. I mean, his dice really did give me this game in numerous moments during throughout this game, and that's just unfortunate. The skull cannon, like I said, the skull cannon misfiring each time it fired. What the hell? That like never happens. Zinch is apparently looking out for me. My dice and luck are back in full force, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna ride it out until it goes away because I love it when Zinch is in full force or whatever. So I don't know, maybe I should check the stars or something because this is great. That Bolt of Change, though, at the top of turn 1, taking out a Nurgle Demon Prince. The last time I did that was during the Shiloh GT, when I took out my turn 5 opponent, cast himself. Now I'm using his namesake in the list to do that to other Nurgle Demon Princes. Somewhere somebody wants to punch me in the face. But unbelievable luck on my side and unbelievable bad luck on my opponent's side. It was just the perfect recipe for absolute fail, which is unfortunate because this is a really good guy, and he didn't deserve that. I hope his dice really do pick up for him. Had his dice rolled average, this would have been a much different game. But you know what, guys? As much as it's hard to believe, we actually did have a lot of fun. This guy is a really promising up-and-coming opponent. His lists are changing intelligently. He's learning. He's figuring things out. And I think in the next few months, we're going to see him become quite the contender. So I'm really looking forward to the rematch. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this battle report number 132, which is pretty cool, actually. As always, though, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below. But yeah, guys, thanks.